Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting adventure of Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg, and I'm your host. And it's another Friday night, but the temperature's dropped, and it's got fall in the air, that's for sure, for the month of October. Uh, there's a lot of things that are going on, a lot of events. There's a lot of things that I will be talking about next week as far as things that are going on around here and around the East Coast, West Coast, all around the United States. And I want to be able to mention them all, not all of them individually, but just the different areas. And I know that there's a lot of neat things, but the ritual, normally I start to talk about what's going on and where we're at. And I mentioned the fact that there are certain people that I support, and I would start out with, excuse me, I would start out with Potographs with Tim Miley, who's a great investigator. He's from up north, and he does a lot of great work. It's amazing when he does a fundraiser, and I know most of you people know the story behind Tim Miley. And when he lost his pup, he thought he wasn't going to be able to go on, so he decided to go ahead and he had a picture of himself and the pup, and he went to a Paracon, and he made a bunch of copies of it, and he started to try to do like a little fundraiser and make money for animal shelters and pups and things like that. So animal research. So he went ahead and he started that, and as it turned out, here we are, probably 8 to 10 years ago. He got to the point today where he pretty much dictates. He does his own fundraisers. He does uh, events where he brings in his friends to speak at him, and he does an awesome job. And he's a great guy. And if you ever get a chance to meet him, he's really something. Secondly, it's PKC, or Paranormal Kicks Cancer. It's Chris Goskowski and Alex Wilkinson. They're two people that go around and do fundraisers for cancer research, and they're all paranormally motivated. So they'll do different investigations. They'll do different uh, things like that to go ahead and raise money, and they do an awesome job. I've known them for quite some time. I first ran into them at a friend of mine's establishment, which is Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, which is Ronnie D. And he brought him on, and we talked on one of my shows back then. And they're awesome people too. Thirdly, is the Jessica Petrie Foundation, and that's a resource for expecting mothers and families of pregnant, mentally ill ladies with mental illness. And that's Howard Petrie's daughter who passed. And so he started this foundation up for that cause, and has been working at it quite diligently and has been doing a very good job at it. Uh, I don't think I missed anybody. Uh, the one that's got another month to go, of course, is Mike Couch in the Rhodes Hotel and Lost Limbs, and he's pretty much out of the foundation now. So this will probably be one of the last times I mention him, but he's such a great guy I got to. I just, he had done some awesome things for uh, lost limbs over the years, and he's done a lot of great fundraisers, and he's an amazing guy. And my my heart out to him because he's really carried quite a few of us along the road, and I think it's great. So anyway, we had that covered. We have to cover our authors. Our authors is like what I normally mention every Friday night. We have Heather Lee Langdon. We have Todd Bates. We have Rex Nielsen, who's another one of the people that we know quite well. Bruce Holliday, who does an amazing job in the ITC world. Dr. Rebecca Foster, Lynn Monet, Ron Iacovetti, and that's it for authors. So what we normally do now is we would go ahead and just mention all those particular things and the other shows that are on. And this is my Friday show, and I have a Wednesday show. And the Wednesday show is One Spirit Connect. And we do all ITC experimentation, and we're going to be getting a new crowd. So that's going to be working out a little differently because we'll have people coming on that haven't been on before. So I would love to keep all my people, but we'll wait and see what happens. It's interesting to know that I still have a lot of the great people that are guests in the rotation that go, rotate around and they come on the show every 4 or 5 weeks. And some of them carry the load a little more because there's a few that have a full book, so they can't really take the time to go ahead and join us. So that's the other part is the fact that to try to go ahead and continue to do the amount of shows, I do too. And next week, and at the end of the show, I somebody please remind me to mention the fact of who I'm going to have on next Friday because it's going to be interesting. It's going to be like our little Halloween show. But without further ado, though, I'm sort of keeping her in the room a little bit too long, and she's getting aggravated at me, and she's liable to start to lash out at me, and I don't want that to happen. But before we bring her on, I just want to say hi to Adriana, Nancy Noonan Kelly, Kristen, and Chris Carr. Kristen and Chris Carr, Kristen Johnson and Chris Carr are Dark Horse Paranormal, as we all know. Great people with a great, they do great shows. And I'm very easy to say that they sort of help mold me a little bit in the direction that I wanted to go because they do such an excellent job. And it's good to have them here. So, without further ado, I want to bring my guest in. This particular lady. Her name is Becky Evans. She's been on before. Becky is an awesome investigator. She's been around the world in 80 days, Becky.
Oh, seems like it, and I'm fixing to go around it again.
So, for those people that don't know you, and there's a few of them in here that probably, you see, there's a lot of them are just saying, hi, Becky, hi, Becky, hi, Becky, hi, Becky, hi, Becky.
Hey, everybody. I can't see your comments, but hello, everybody.
Most of the people that I mentioned are all saying, hi, Becky. And I know you just had a big thing that you just got back from. So why don't you let everybody know what you did and everything else?
Yeah. Well, I just got back from Sam Boutrous's Mass Paracon, at the beginning of the month. And that was an extremely fun event. Oh my gosh. And it was it was off the charts. I could say that was one of my first times up in the northeast corner of the United States, and being able to enjoy it, because I used to be a truck driver, so I've drove through there, but I never got to visit. So that was my first time to visit. So it's something else. And we went through Plymouth and was able to investigate the Church of the Pilgrimage up there. There was a lot of stuff that happened while we were there. We investigated with quite a few names, with Patty Negri, Aaron G. Thompson, of course, a friend of mine, David Childers. We had quite a few, April Bissett. There was quite a few names that everybody was there. Letriana Brown. It was a huge success, and it was fun. It was really fun. And something that happened that night of the event is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life, that I've never experienced. But I will say, because of what happened on that land, it was originally, indigenous tribe land. The Pilgrims took over that land and disrespected the land. That night we gave respect to the tribes, and we had knocked the whole time we were around it. It kept knocking. We had this one specific tree kept knocking, continued to knock. And everybody was just like, do you hear that tree knocking? So Sam, as we stood around, we all stood there and did our respects to the tribes, and the tree started crying, as if it was legit crying. It was like the emotions of all of what we put into giving the respects for the tribes. All the emotions came out of the tree, as if it was, what we did was good for the tribes.
How did
That
that
will
happen?
stick with me.
How did it do that?
I'm not for sure. I think I froze.
Yeah, you did. There you are.
Sorry. I'm not for sure. I think it was the emotions. I think.
I mean, could you physically see it?
Oh yeah.
And was it sap?
No. I mean, I'm part of the spirit tribe. Part of Sam's. Me and a few others were part of his spirit squad, as we are known. I am beginning to open up, learning about McClare's. I do quite a few things. He had our spirit squad go out to the cemetery where this tree was located, but we went past that tree. But we kept hearing the knocking of that tree. It kept on knocking, and we kept on wanting to walk past it, but it kept on drawing us back. It was a dry tree. There was no water, there was no sap, no nothing. It was a dry tree. But all we heard was knocking. So we just kept walking past. And Sam said, no, we need to turn around and go back to that tree. And that's where we all paid our respects. And that's when the tree, in two spots, like it had eyes, looked like it was crying. because we paid respects
Well,
to the tribes. And
what did
we didn't hear the knocking after that.
what did Sam say about it?
The same. We all was able to. He feels that what we did was good for the land, for the indigenous, to let them know the tribes had a voice, that they knew that there was someone there that respected them and not the pilgrims that were there for them as well. Because what the pilgrims did in the years past, they built all these buildings on their land and took over their land. And there's a lot more to the story. It's a long story, but yeah, they killed a lot of people on that land.
Oh wow,
And so I feel what we did was a good thing that night.
that's pretty
It was
crazy.
heavy.
Did you guys get any pictures of it?
The only pictures we got of the tree was we took a picture of Sam. We all went around the tree and hugged the tree.
Okay.
But we took a picture of Sam, by the tree.
Do you know what kind of tree it was?
I actually don't know what kind of tree it was. I was trying to figure it out, but it was the most biggest, widest tree that I've ever seen in my whole life. And I've been trying to figure that out.
Okay.
But it was huge.
So you had you yourself and how many ladies were with you plus Sam?
I say there was about 6 or 7 of us out there.
And you guys all it took all of you to go around that tree?
Yes.
That's a big tree. That's really amazing. So you said did you think that was the highlight of your whole trip?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. No, but that was the start. That was the one of the start of my trip. But I feel that was my emotional part of my trip because I felt that was something that was needed, you know, especially for that area. And I was happy to be a part of it. And, but just for me, myself, there was a lot of happiness, a lot of things that happened during my trip that it was so fun the whole weekend. And there were so many things that we did with the investigations, and it was off the charts. A lot of EVPs, a lot of listening to me on the EVPs, saying my name a lot. Um, Quite a bit where they told Aaron G. Thompson to follow when I was walking down the stairs. It told Aaron G. Thompson to follow me and the whole team to follow me. And I said, well, thank you for telling everybody to follow me. And it says, you're welcome.
Wow.
And when we went down the stairs, I said, so we've left the area. And it said, good. And it was just so intelligent. There was a lot of intelligent spirits, but then there's a lot of angry spirits there in that church. So it was kind of ironic to hear things, but then there was a lot of weird stuff going on. So we could not figure out why we were getting some weird stuff coming through. And we couldn't tell if that was something that had to come from the cemetery or if that was something that had to come from the church.
Kristen Johnson asks, where did that happen, Becky?
In the church of the pilgrimage there in Plymouth.
In Plymouth.
right behind the John Carver Inn.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Kristen? And Adriana says that tree holds the natives' emotions, possibly part of their souls. So there are people that are in the room right now that know exactly what you're talking about, which is pretty cool
That's
too.
that's what I was feeling, Adriana. That was something I felt. That's a possible what we all talked about afterwards when we felt the. I was the one that noticed it, the crying part of it. I was like, I don't. When we went past it, it was completely dry tree. But after we got done giving our respects, it looked like it was crying. And I was like, that was not there before. And it looks like it is crying. It's like emotional. And that's when we all decided to get around the tree as a, like hugging the tree to say, like an actual person, we'd give them a hug, that it's going to be okay. That's what we did.
Oh, that's awesome. So Barbara Woodbury Spears here, and she's in the hospital.
Oh
And just
gosh,
want to say, glad to have you, Barbara, and everybody in the chat will go ahead and say a prayer for you. They
for
get the
sure, for
opportunity
sure.
for sure. So that's awesome too. Tabitha's here, Meadows. You know Tabitha?
Oh yeah, she's. I see her. We're always on all the lives and stuff. I haven't met her in person yet, and eventually we will.
I thought maybe she was from the East Coast too, and then maybe you had met her there.
I know we haven't met yet, but we will.
But it's really cool. So you do a lot of the stores and shops there?
Salem, I did.
And what was the most interesting store you were in?
The witch picks actually where I did my photo shoot. I
Okay.
love doing that. It makes me want to go do more, but no, technically, just just being able to walk into some of the stores and seeing some of the uniqueness of some of the older stores. There were some newer ones, but um, it just seemed, of course, touristy. But I tried to go into the older stores that looked like they had been there for a long time, and getting the vibe of the area. That was something. But my biggest thing was walking over to the Witches Memorial and walking around to where they had paid respects to the witches, um, those that were murdered.
Yeah.
And I kept stopping at Giles Corey's stone. And it seemed to me that everybody kept on, would stop there and they would say, well, why is his different than everybody else's? Why is everybody else hung and his is, pressed to death? And it was like, because I knew the story because Sam had told us, before. And of course, you hear the stories on TV, and of course, you know, but it's like it just popped right out of me. I just tell everybody, it's like, well, he's the one that spoke up and tried to, claim everybody's innocence. And they said, well, no, he's a witch too. So they they claimed he was a witch as well. And because of that, they did something different to him compared to the rest of them. And they put rocks, and they kept on adding rocks, and he wouldn't speak up, and he wouldn't claim, he wouldn't speak up, and he just said, keep adding more rocks to me because I'm never going to speak up. And he died because of that, and that's why he's pressed to death.
Wow.
But I do have a couple pictures. I haven't posted them on Facebook yet. And I sent them to Sam to get verification too. But I did catch something, a couple pictures in the cemetery there. And they're legit. That I caught something in the cemetery around there. So yeah, I'll eventually be putting them on Facebook soon.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and the next time that we get together, we'll get him on here one way or the other. I had so much going on this afternoon. I didn't get enough time to get in. And you worked today anyway, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I work Monday through Friday,
Okay.
5 to 4 o'clock.
So sorry it didn't work out because I really wanted to see him, but I don't know how I'd be able to get it on now. So uh, I'm not well versed in that. I thought Brandon would be here, but he's probably too busy doing other things. It's Friday night. So we always talked, we didn't talk in detail a lot about the fact that you're a photographer.
Oh yeah.
How long you been taking pictures?
Well, I've been taking pictures off and on for I say good about 10 years, but I haven't really, you know, I tried to do it for a while professionally. Um, then I got out of it for a while, and just recently I haven't just really been pushing it out there. But once I get situated again, I'll probably get back into it once I get moved. I'm
Uh,
packing up all my stuff.
what was your favorite subject matter when you were taking pictures besides what
Nature.
nature?
Yeah.
And in nature, which one, what do you like taking the most pictures of?
The sunsets and the sunrises.
That's pretty cool.
Where I was living at, I was living over there in Mississippi at the time, right there at the bridges where you go over into Louisiana, was the best sunsets and the best sunrises.
Yeah, I think the guys when the guys were down in New Orleans, they posted one or two pictures of the sunset,
Yeah.
and it was just unbelievable. So that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to take
Okay,
a pause for a moment
okay,
if I can. If it's okay, I apologize.
sure. Well, everybody, it's Friday night. We got quite a night in front of us here, and then who knows what's going to happen later on. A lot of crazy things. I imagine she does pictures of trees too, Linda. And here we are, Nancy goes. It's something that happens occasionally, and we go with the flow. Just as long as none of us happen to be like that guy, it's Friday the 13th. That's pretty crazy, huh? How many shows have you done with your new setup? You mean my show, Linda?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, my dad. I take care of my dad, and he took a drink and then went down the wrong pipe. I thought he was choking or something. Had to go
Oh,
check on him.
yeah. that's best to take care of your father, even though no matter what's going on, that's the best. He's much more important. Um, Linda Judd had a question about Mariner of Spirit. This show used to be. It was called the Shadow Hour, and it was on a different network. And I came this way, and this started. I haven't even counted them. I'm going to start keeping count when I get back. I want to say this was like June, maybe. We probably June that we started up on Supernatural Links page. Uh, it was a great opportunity. I could do both shows. Uh, I have a producer, and I'm treated well. It's part of my. I'm part of the Supernatural Link family, so that explains a lot as far as why I'm here. And we try to keep everything on the up and up, and I try to keep everything going straight as an arrow. And there's certain things that happen occasionally that you know a little bit out of bounds, you could possibly say. But all I have is apologies for anything that ever went on that somebody would say that I'm responsible for. I'd never go ahead and do anything intentionally anyway against anybody. So, but this is going to be more of an interviewing show. Yes, it always has been, Linda. I've always done people in the paranormal community, uh, all across the board, and I enjoy talking to people that are in the community that can share a thing or two. Um, with Becky, I've always found it interesting that she's sort of like multifaceted because she not only does a lot of pictures, but she also has a bunch of rocks. She calls them crystals. I call I call them crystals too. I just said that to see if I was going to get a reaction from you.
Well,
But
mine's packed up right now because
they're all packed up. You see, mine aren't, and I keep on going ahead and trying to give them to my grandkids. Like, here, put this in your pocket, carry it around with you, that kind of thing.
oh yeah.
Which is a really neat way to go.
Oh. So
Here,
I do see some of the comments now. And Linda, I'm going to answer that one question. Have I if I took photos of trees? And I do have some photos of some trees that, if I see something that's very unique, especially when I have my camera, my professional camera out. Oh yeah. Um, but it has to be a unique tree for me to take a photo of it.
I
Oh,
what kind of why don't you
I,
why don't you let me know
I
what
have the one beside me. Nancy's asking me the one that you've asked me before, that one crystal to keep. Which would I? It would be my favorite, my black moonstone.
wow,
This
that's
is the
really
one. This is even though I couldn't keep it in my pocket, but this is the one that is always going to be my favorite.
that is very pretty. I
This
know.
one. I haven't
I
packed it up yet.
well, don't forget to pack it up because it's
Oh
not going to be
no.
able, because you won't be able to put it in your pocket. Then you'll be in trouble.
Because
I,
it's a more of a, because it's more grounding and it's more like a, because my job that I'm doing at this moment is a very stressful job. And I deal with 350 businesses. I have to do a lot of scheduling. So I'm always picking it up and I'm always holding it, and it it seems to be more calming to me, and that's why I'm always drawn to it. It just keeps me calm when I'm here at home. Now I don't take it to work with me. I have a black obsidian pyramid at work that I take with me there to keep
a
off the
big,
negativity.
a real big one.
No, it's like a handheld um, black obsidian pyramid at work.
Yeah, there. I've got quite a few pyramids. Uh, so it looks like
You know,
that's
I think.
that's not the right one, is it?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's similar to the size of the similar to the size I have,
See, reflect on some light or something. Look at the
but
bottom
I
of it.
see it. It is pretty.
That's one of them. But and I do the selenite business, and I have all the quartz and selenite sticks and everything else too. Like you probably have a ton of that.
Oh gosh, yeah, I have quite a bit. I have a lot. Once I get situated, and I know I'll probably be on more, which he does have a lot more people come on, but sometimes their schedules conflict, and he needs someone to cover for that night. And I'm always willing to come on, so that's what I'm doing tonight. Is I'm covering because they
Well,
wasn't able to come on tonight.
because who wasn't be able to come on tonight?
I said, if you have someone, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
you're welcome anytime you want to come on.
I said, I'm always willing to.
I know, I know, I know. That's what's really good. That's what's really neat, because and you're from the far west side of the country right now
At the moment.
at the moment,
In
and
3 weeks, I won't be.
I think I'm very fortunate that I'll be heading out there, and then I might
Thank you, Linda.
cross paths with you when you are.
And Linda, your question about you wonder if some trees are huggable. All trees are huggable because all trees are actually living. Uh, Technically, they all have feelings because they have roots, and um, technically, I mean, it's like a plant, and you know, I think plants, trees, all of them have emotions, and I feel that's what everybody failed to realize. I know when it comes to me trying to grow a plant, like a rose or a plant or something, I'm not good at growing things, so I'm always not a green thumb, so not real good at that. But when it comes to the forest or go out into the woods, I go to them. I can't grow them, but I go to them. But I feel that all trees are huggable.
You see what Anne Marie said? She says she wants to go to California just to hug a red tree. I mean a redwood.
I One of the big, big, big trees. I would love that, Anne Marie. I would go with you. I know that's something I've always wanted to do, but
All you have to do is go right across Lake Washington and go right up there, and there's a bunch of parks up there that have those redwoods in them.
I went to that park and I didn't see no redwoods.
You're kidding. Which park are you talking? My daughter knows the names. I don't have the names, but there were quite a few. There,
Well, there's one downtown. There's one that's over there by Seattle that actually is like a forest in itself, and they're supposed to have that type of. But I never saw it. I never
the,
saw
the
no red.
variety that variety of tree. You
Hmm.
see, we have oaks and hickories here,
Hmm.
and hard maples, and then we have some soft maples. But the oaks, you have white oaks and you have red oaks, and then you got like a scrag hickory or scrag oak that's has a lot of knots in it, or excuse me, it's called a bur oak.
Yeah.
Me and Becky Evans are coming.
Yep. Here we go. Let's go.
They're going to California. You're gonna have to meet her out there, Anne Marie. But
And Nancy asked if I was going to recommend a all around crystal, which would it be? I would say it probably grounding, probably a grounding stone. I mean, depends on, there are so many stones. It just, you know, to me, it's like depends on how you are. I mean, to me, I have some days I'm vibing with a obsidian, or some I'm vibing with a selenite. There's so many stones out there, but an all around stone for me is, more grounding, that to carry with me would be this, which I still have some that are, let's
see,
see.
it's going to take you a long time to get all those packed up. You got a whole thing of them there.
Yeah, I got quite a bit. I still haven't packed these up yet. They're still beside me. I would say like a
That's
war like a
what is that? What kind of stone that shape is? That's a
I say
particular.
like like for me is a palm stone, or
Okay,
like,
palm. Okay, and
because
what
if it's
color?
in my
What
palm.
what
This
what?
is a yeah, like a worry stone. Yep, that's it. That's what I was saying. But to me, if it's right in my palm, so as you see, I have a small hand, so it fits perfectly.
So you can
So I
fit it
call
right.
it palm.
You fit it right. You fit it right in there just before, and then you turn around and just when they think you don't have anything, you just haul off and hit them right in the nose with that fist, and that's all over. Was
And
that
it's
a rose
it's
quartz?
something like that.
That's a heart. Is
Yeah,
that is that a quartz too?
That's a rose quartz.
Okay. I think I'm starting to remember. Huh?
You go,
What is that one? What's that supposed to mean, Linda? Greg
yeah.
at Greg at. You mean like punch myself in the nose? I've been punched in the nose so many times. It's not funny, but that's really really nice, and I know that you have quite a few very, very good hobbies. And
No, yeah, no punching.
I know, no punching.
Yeah,
And,
Linda said no punching.
and when I looked at a few of the people in here, I'm trying to find her again.
Yeah, Nancy.
Nancy, Nancy,
I say whatever speaks to you, Nancy, is what, you know, should, definitely what you said is what speaks to you, is what is recommended. And if it's something that you feel more strongly and you're more drawn to, would be the stone for you.
right? Very well said. Do you, Nancy? Do you go to any of those shows, or do you watch any shows on Facebook that deal with people that sell stones? Uh, I you've been on our shows a lot here, and I would recommend a particular lady that goes by the name of Sacred Sandy, because Sandy sort of blesses all her stones. She's a psychic medium, and she sort of, you know, purifies them. And another woman that sells stones also that does an awesome job is Melaine uh, Syllabos. So that's Anthony's wife, Anthony Syllabos, from the Wraith, from the oh, I got to get this one right, or I'm going to get we're the Wraith Hunters. I keep on he makes me get paranoid over that name because he keeps on telling me I say the wrong one because Tennessee Wraith, the Tennessee Wraith, what were those guys called? The Tennessee Wraith
Tennessee Ray Chasers,
Chasers. You see, and he is the Wraith Hunter, Texas Wraith Hunters.
Anthony Sabalos and Melanie Sabalos.
Savalos.
Sabalos.
You pronounce it differently than I do, and I have everybody telling me I do it wrong. And they're
I'm
great
just
people.
reading what Linda put.
Yeah, I know. They're good people too. They're great people. But Sacred Sandy does an
I
awesome
know the
job.
Tennessee Ray Chaser, so I can actually.
I know Mike.
Well, I know Mike, Scott, Chris, and all of them. So yeah.
That was at Hunt the Town here in Antioch, Northern Illinois. We had a big event. We had we had the whole entire downtown, all the stores. We had investigations in almost every other one, which was awesome.
Hey,
Linda
Linda.
Kruger, Linda Kruger's here. I just saw her for breakfast Wednesday with her worse half because she's the better half.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I was saying on Sacred Sandy, she has a show, and they sometimes she's on for 3 hours. So if you get a hold of a crystal lady like her or Malay, am I pronouncing her name wrong? Malay,
Adriana, yes.
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
no, no. I'm talking to what she just posted.
Mel,
I'm
Mel,
agreeing with her.
Melanie. That's Melanie Slavos, and the other one, Sacred Sandy. And I'm sure that um, Melanie probably does the same thing where they go ahead and they sell them online. And I got a real nice turtle, and I think I showed this to you, didn't I? He's all lit up with. I'm trying to remember the name of that
I
stone.
think you did. I think you showed it to me.
And I got her this turtle I got from Melanie, and it's you get a hold of somebody that's into the business like that, Nancy, and it works it works tremendously for you. It's it gives you a little idea of what they're all about. I don't remember the names because I get too involved with everything else. So to try to keep up with that, I just see something and I like it, and I know there's certain ones. What is the one with all that reflection on it?
That's labradorite.
And that's this, right?
I don't know. I was looking at the comments. Oh no, what's I got reflection. I can't release.
How about now?
Actually, I can't because I got a small little screen. I can't see it up close.
What if I hold it up north?
Yeah, that looks like a labradorite.
It's labradorite. Yeah, that's right. It's a cool one. Uh, I've got a bunch of pieces of it, but it's always neat. And then if you're really in trouble and you need a lot of help, like I do, then you end up with one of those. You see him?
Oh yeah.
It's an angel
Mhm.
because we all know Greg needs all the angels he can get.
And I get all my stones from a girl on Facebook that I've been friends with her for years, and her name is Tanya Brooker from Mystic Rhythms.
Mystic Rhythms, and where's she out of?
She Michigan.
Michigan.
Hmm.
Okay, so that gives you guys three different ones that you guys can go ahead and pick from and check them out. Does she do a show
Oh
online
yeah,
too?
she does a show. She tries to do a show on Wednesdays and Sundays. Sometimes she'll do them on Saturdays, but I know she had neck surgery recently, so she tries to do limit to like maybe one show a week. But I know if you go on Mystic Rhythms, she'll post like bundles and stuff, and she's really affordable.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and skip from there. We're going to go back to investigations.
Okay.
Have you done anything? And I probably asked you the last time you were on, so please just bear with me because I have no memory. And have you done any investigations out in Washington State?
I've done a couple of investigations over here. Um, Nothing real big, but I've done a couple that um, up in north of Everett with a team that was up here that they had invited me to. There was one. It was like a old museum that had an old cabin back from the 1700s. I did an investigation there, and then the Robert Lang Music Studio. That one, that one was off the charts.
Wasn't? And
That one was.
where is that located at?
That one is. Oh gosh, that was north of Everett, I think. Um, he has a mansion, but his music studio is in his basement area, and that's Robert Lang is Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Dave Thomas. I mean, he's had names. I mean, a lot. He has a long list of singers that come to his studio. And they showed me a picture, and the one person that comes to that studio, which is Dave Thomas, always has. He doesn't smoke, but there's smoke around Dave Thomas.
Wow.
Something every time he comes to that studio.
I have in here. I have my mentor's father, who has passed, was a chain smoker. And every once in a while, he'll come through here, and that'll be on. He'll be asked to go ahead and pay me a visit. And it's like he just passes. Like I'll be sitting here, right here, looking in the tube, and the Wendy guys.
No, not the Wendy's guy.
Who's the
I might be
Wendy's?
saying his last name wrong.
Who,
He's a singer.
who
I
am
am
I?
tired. I have been up since 5, so I might be saying his last name wrong. He's a singer.
The Wendy's guy.
What's?
I don't know who that is.
I'm trying to think of one of the songs. My
Oh,
my brain just went blank. So I'll have to say
Dave
Dave
Thomas.
Thomas. That's it. Thank you, Ezriana, because I sure as heck was like, what?
Who is he?
No,
Who?
not the Wendy's guy. But no, every time he's gone to that music studio, and they take pictures of him when they're in there doing practice, because they do a lot of their, you know, recording there. He always has smoke around him. When there's no smoke, there's nobody smoking, nothing. There's always that smoke around him. Nowhere else, just around him. I caught a couple things while I was taking pictures in there, but and there's a couple things in a video that I don't have the video. I can't find the video anymore. I think the girl that took that video took it down. I believe he is, but she had put a lot of the cameras, DVR cameras around, so that way I could. Me and 2 others were in the room, and we were asking things to move. And of course, we didn't hear it move or anything. And later on, when we were watching the video and everything, the camera, adjusted. We didn't see it until after the fact. So we were in the dark, so we didn't know that the camera had moved when we asked it to move.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
But it was cool. But I did take a picture up under his basement, up under where the dirt is.
Yeah.
I didn't walk in there, but I was standing at the door and took some pictures, and I caught something in there sitting on looked like it was a patio type of thing, but it wasn't sitting. It looked like a little girl sitting there, and there was no little girl there.
Wow,
I have that picture on my phone as well. There's something I tend to be is when I take photos, I take them in the consecutives of 2, because you never can tell if you take a picture that you'll catch things. Because my first ever, my best evidence has been the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, where I caught the full body apparition.
You see, I forgot that part too. And that's the part that I wanted to go ahead and bring on tonight.
Next time, Nancy, I'll get with, next time I'm a guest on here, I'll get with Greg and Brandon, and I'll get the photos.
We'll
That way
have
everybody can see it.
her pics from Old South, and I'll have mine. And we'll have a contest. We'll have a contest. And of course, Becky's going to win.
Well, actually, I mean, I have sent it to quite a few people and showed it to quite a few people, and nobody's been able to debunk the one at Old Town Pittsburgh. And then the ones recently, nobody's been able to debunk that as well.
And he's going to be on next week on Friday night. Ronnie Diaz. So
Oh yeah,
it's going to be pretty crazy.
Ronnie D. He's a nice guy.
He's a
I
great
did
guy.
an investigation when I was there last. We did an investigation, and I was doing an SS method, and he was doing the asking of the questions in the other room. So I don't know what kind of questions he was asking, but whatever was being said, I was spitting words out left and right.
That's nothing wrong with that. Do you have blinders and everything?
I do, but they're
You have blinders, and so you've done a lot of Estes. Huh?
not a whole lot. I've done it like 3 or 4 times. I've done Estes. I've done the human pendulum.
Okay.
Uh,
Why don't you
I
explain? Why don't you explain that to everybody?
the human pendulum. That's where you're like me. I'm in the middle, and so I basically kind of close my eyes, and I kind of get into a zone where I'm not focused on anybody else. I take deep breaths, and I'm not focused on anyone else. I kind of put myself in a zone to where I'm more focused on myself. And when there are, have a great night, Linda, and nice meeting you as well, Linda. One of these days we'll get to meet in person.
Good night, Linda.
And so basically, the person that is the pendulum kind of goes into a zone where they're not fully like under, like, but you're still able to hear the questions. You're still able to understand what's being said and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when people start answering, the person that's starting to ask the questions, it's like, I don't know how to explain it.
You're on your feet, right?
Oh yeah, you're on your feet, you're standing, but the the answers for yes is one way, and the answers for no is one way. So when your body goes forward, it's yes, and when your body goes back, it's no. And but I don't know how, but it's just like the questions are so intelligently being answered, and it was just
Well,
sometimes I don't remember what questions are being asked, and it's like I put myself in total zone, and I don't remember what was asked or anything, but it's like I'm out of it basically.
okay.
So it's like kind of weird. It's like hypnosis
Okay.
in a way. It's like a hypnosis type of thing, but you're putting yourself into that hypnosis state. And the person that's asking the questions, you move toward those questions. And if if it's a yes question, you move toward that question. If it's a no, you move back from that question. And I've done it a couple times, and it was a unique experience. And I mean, I don't have any problems with it. Some people do, some people don't, but I have no problems with it.
Okie doke.
I'm always willing to try all all the experiments, because how are you going to learn if you don't try it?
Right. So let's go ahead and close it down. And then if you want to hang around for a few minutes, we'll go ahead and talk. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. I think we got everybody covered. If I didn't, I apologize. Tabitha Meadows, we mentioned you. Uh, let's see, there's a few other ones towards the end. Uh, we mentioned Nancy again too. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and say goodnight to everybody. We will see you next Wednesday with another episode of One Spirit Connect. And thanks for being here. And we will see you. Have a great weekend. And, well, she's not here, Carol Garcia, but I'm not going to say it then until she comes. Okay. Have a good night. And thank you very much. And thanks to my guest, Becky Evans, for being fantastic tonight. And like she normally is, which makes her a great guest.
Aw.
So, okay. Good night, everybody.